August 5th, 2020. The day science rewrote the laws of reality. At 9:16 a.m. Pacific Time, deep within a fortified research facility in an undisclosed location, a team of physicists initiated the first successful creation of a man-made black hole. A controlled micro-singularity generated inside a magnetic chamber lasted just under 12 seconds before collapsing. The event was hailed as a milestone in human achievement. The celebration lasted less than an hour. At 10:03 a.m., the first global disruption began. Power grids across multiple time zones crashed in rapid succession. Satellites lost contact. Planes disappeared from radar. Governments declared states of emergency. Scientists at the facility were still running diagnostics when reports of unexplainable spatial distortions began to surface online. Videos showing glimmering, door-like rips in the air. People stood frozen before them. Then, without warning, they stepped through and vanished. By 3 p.m., over 100 portals had appeared across major cities. By nightfall, there were thousands. In Lancaster, California, 3 days after the blackout, Adam Reed was securing the final bag in the trunk of his car. His wife, Andrea, cradled their sleeping daughter, Kate, in her arms. The family had waited as long as they could. The news was filled with conflicting updates. Some reports said the military had things under control. Others showed entire neighborhoods going dark as people walked into portals and never returned. Their own block had emptied out the day before. Adam didn't want to leave, but staying no longer felt like safety. It felt like waiting to be forgotten. As they drove through the abandoned roads under a sky washed in static gray, Andrea and Kate dozed off. Adam kept his eyes forward, hands locked on the steering wheel. The dashboard lights flickered. The engine coughed once, then again. Without warning, the car's electronics shut down. The engine died completely. He coasted to a stop along the shoulder of a desolate stretch of desert highway. "Come on," he muttered, turning the key. Nothing. He tried again. On the third try, the engine roared to life. Andrea stirred. Kate whimpered in her sleep. "It's okay," Adam said, glancing in the rearview mirror. "Just a hiccup." He reached for Andrea's hand, gave it a squeeze. Neither of them noticed the ripple ahead on the road, a vertical shimmer in the air, darker than the sky around it. It grew wider as they approached, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. Kate's eyes opened just as the car entered the portal. 3 hours after the original blackout in Washington, D.C., the emergency call center was chaos. Phones rang non-stop. The team, Kathy, Larry, Robert, Dory, and Stan, worked without pause. Most of the GPS systems were down, cell networks barely functional. They logged reports from around the country. Loved ones gone, black doors in the sky, whole streets disappearing. Kathy, the team lead, kept her voice level, assigning tasks as she scribbled locations on a whiteboard that was quickly running out of space. Dory, her eyes hollow with exhaustion, leaned over her desk and whispered, "I need to go home. My daughter's with the sitter." Kathy didn't look up. "We all have families, Dory. If we stop now, more people disappear." Dory clenched her jaw and sat back down. A minute later, another call came in, a woman sobbing, screaming that her daughter had vanished. As Dory tried to calm her, the power flickered, then died. Phones cut out. The emergency generators kicked in too late. The room was drowned in darkness. Then the portal appeared. It shimmered near the far wall, tall and thin like a door made of black glass. The team froze. Larry dropped his coffee. Robert backed away, whispering, "What the hell is that?" Stan stepped forward. His pupils dilated. "It's here," he said. "What are you talking about?" Kathy asked. Stan turned to her, calm in a way that was more frightening than panic. "We got calls years ago. Remember? The ones we ignored. They warned us." Kathy's voice turned cold. "You mean your crazy theory? The ones you obsessed over?" Stan didn't answer. He walked toward the door and touched it gently, like a sacred object. Then he turned around, pulled a gun from his coat, and pointed it at the group. "We're going through." The others recoiled. Kathy stepped forward. "Stan, put it down." "You don't understand," he said. "It speaks to me." "No, it manipulates you," Kathy said. "You're not thinking clearly." "I've never been clearer." He pointed the gun at Larry. "You're first." Robert moved to intervene. Stan shot him in the chest. The room exploded in screams. Larry begged. Stan forced him forward, the gun pressed to his back. The moment Larry touched the portal, he was sucked inside like smoke into a vacuum. No trace left. Stan turned to Dory next. "It says your daughter's inside. You want her back, don't you?" Kathy shook her head. "He's lying. He doesn't know." Stan sneered. "I'm not lying. The portal told me." Dory looked back and forth, shaking, breath hitching. Kathy slipped her a pair of scissors behind her back. Dory approached the portal. Stan stepped closer. "Just touch it. She's waiting." Dory turned fast and stabbed him in the gut. Stan screamed and fired. The bullet struck Dory in the chest. She fell. Stan turned the gun on Kathy. He was bleeding badly, but still standing. "You ruined it," he said. "It was supposed to be beautiful." The portal whispered something only he could hear. He froze. "You did this," it told him. Stan turned, eyes wide. No, I did everything you said." He tried to step into the portal. It rejected him. A ripple surged outward, slamming him back. Furious, he aimed the gun at the portal and fired. The bullet bounced back and pierced his skull. Kathy dropped to her knees. Stan's body crumpled. The portal pulsed once more, and in a blink, the remaining team members were gone. When the SWAT team arrived, the room was empty. No blood, no bodies, just ringing phones and a single message still scribbled on the whiteboard. "They're watching." Elsewhere, on a dark stretch of road, the night was still. Then, in the middle of the highway, a vehicle emerged from nowhere. Twisted metal, shattered glass, smoke. Inside the wreckage, Adam Reed stirred, one eye swollen shut, the other blind to the world. The last thing he remembered was a shimmer in the road and his daughter's voice calling his name. The collapse had begun. It began with silence. In Jakarta, 3 minutes before the blackout, the oppressive heat hung heavy in the concrete shadows of a shopping center parking garage. Sarah and Jill stood beside a parked scooter, the air between them brittle with tension. They hadn't stopped arguing since leaving the restaurant. Jill wanted Sarah to come home, Sarah refused. "This isn't home," Sarah snapped, arms crossed. "It's where everything went wrong." Jill hesitated. "I'm pregnant." The words hit Sarah like a slap. Her face crumpled, and for a moment neither of them spoke. Sarah turned away, walking briskly past the parked cars. Behind her, Jill called out, "You were supposed to be happy for me." "I can't be," Sarah said, stopping mid-stride. "Not when I just lost mine." As the words lingered, a woman passed them, young, holding a crying baby. She gave a quick, embarrassed smile and whispered an apology. Jill watched the woman walk away, the sound of the infant's cries echoing off the concrete. Then everything went dark. The lights above flickered once, then cut out. Emergency lights blinked on, casting an eerie red glow across the garage. Jill spun around. What the hell? A low humming began to build, deep and resonant, like the world had started vibrating beneath their feet. Sarah shouted her sister's name, but Jill didn't respond. She stood still, eyes wide and glassy, staring into the distance. "Jill?" Sarah stepped forward, then froze. In the far corner of the garage, a ripple formed in the air, a dark, vertical slit, widening like a curtain being pulled apart. Dozens of people, shoppers, workers, security guards, began drifting toward it in silence. Sarah ran to Jill and shook her. "Snap out of it." Jill blinked but didn't speak. She walked forward, entranced, eyes locked on the growing portal. Sarah chased after her, pushing past a gathering crowd, each person swaying slightly like trees in windless air. Jill reached out to touch the portal. Sarah grabbed her hand just in time. "Stop!" she screamed. Jill turned, eyes glassy. "It's calling us." "Number, you're not going in there. It has everything we've lost, everything we want." A soft, rhythmic sound emerged from the portal, like distant breathing. Sarah heard a baby crying. She jerked her head toward the sound, but there was no one there. She backed away, pulling Jill with her. Just then, the same young mother from before approached, still pushing the stroller. Her face was slack, entranced like the others. Without hesitation, she pushed the stroller forward, right into the portal. The baby disappeared. In a split second, the mother gasped, as if waking from a nightmare. Realizing what she'd done, she screamed and lunged forward. The portal rejected her, blasting her back with invisible force. She hit the ground hard and didn't move. Sarah and Jill ran. Behind them, the crowd grew. Some entered, some waited. Most stood, staring blankly at the doorway in space. In a side room off the garage, the sisters caught their breath. Jill's eyes fluttered as she fought the pull of the portal. Sarah tried to calm her. Then a sound, footsteps. An entranced man stumbled toward them. Sarah slammed the door, but he shoved against it. She struggled to hold it closed. Jill grabbed a fire extinguisher and struck the man. He crumpled. They bolted, dodging between rows of abandoned cars. Sarah peeked around a corner. Dozens of shoppers, silent and still, blocked their path. She turned to Jill. "We can't go through them. We don't have time." They moved low, hiding between vehicles. But the crowd was changing. The entranced had become violent, twisting toward any sound. A woman leapt at Sarah's car as they approached, smashing her fists against the windshield. Jill stumbled. Her eyes glazed again. Sarah shouted, but Jill kept walking. With no choice, Sarah grabbed her sister's hand and snapped one of her fingers. Jill screamed in agony, collapsing. "Why?" "You were going in," Jill sobbed. "I can't keep fighting it." "I'll fight for both of us." Sarah tied Jill to a nearby set of rusted pipes. She kissed her sister's forehead, whispered a promise to come back, and ran. Inside her car, Sarah fumbled with the keys. The same woman who attacked the windshield smashed the driver's side window. Bloodied hands clawed through. Sarah screamed and kicked her back. She crawled through the passenger side door and crushed the attacker's head underfoot. She drove back for Jill. The sisters barely had time to embrace before another wave of shoppers appeared, drawn to the sound. The car swerved as it was hit from all sides. Jill gritted her teeth, clutching her broken hand. Then she whispered, "I see it again." "No," Sarah said, trying to keep her eyes on the road. Jill screamed and grabbed the wheel, forcing Sarah to turn toward the portal. The engine roared as the car raced forward. Sarah saw it. In the shimmer ahead, she saw her baby. The windshield shattered. Sarah flew through it. Everything went still. She awoke in the middle of the empty parking garage. No portal, no shoppers, no sound. "Jill," she called out. Silence. She ran, checking each level, each row, until she saw her. Jill stood under a single flickering light, holding a baby in her arms. Sarah ran to her, sobbing. Jill smiled, handed her the baby, then vanished. Sarah stood alone, cradling nothing in her arms. She was inside the portal. Adam Reed opened his eye to a sterile white ceiling, his mind clouded with images he couldn't place in time. He felt like he had fallen through something, a memory, a hole in the world, a moment that didn't belong to him. A nurse passed the doorway but didn't glance in. He tried to move, but pain bloomed across the left side of his face. His fingers grazed a patch over his eye. Bandaged. Number Dr. Leslie entered moments later, clipboard in hand, a soft expression carved into her features. She told him there had been an accident, that he'd been in a crash, but that he was lucky, very lucky. "My wife and daughter," he croaked. "They're fine," she answered too quickly. "Andrea took Kate to her grandmother's. She said she'll be back soon." Adam's mind snapped into sharpness. "How do you know their names?" "I didn't say their names." Dr. Leslie paused. "You said I was in a crash," he continued. "But I remember something in the road, black, like a door." She sat beside him. "You hit one. That's why you're here." He stared at her. "But you said my family survived too. Not they're fine. You said they survived. Why?" Her smile faltered. She stood. "I'll bring in Dr. Marconin. He can explain more." Later, Marconin arrived, cold, clinical. He examined Adam's eye, the one that still hurt, the one that hadn't gone dark. "Your optic nerve was damaged. We tried to save it, but it's changed. Whatever you hit, it altered you." Adam felt the sedative needle before he saw it, but it didn't work. His body burned with fear. The room stretched around him like soft rubber. The pain came when they started cutting. Real, white-hot, blinding pain. He screamed once, then everything went black. When he woke again, the lights were dimmed and Leslie was waiting. She looked older now, drawn. Her eyes darted to the closed door before she spoke. "You were the only one to come back from the other side," she said. "You were in there for days, maybe weeks. But for us, it was seconds. You returned, changed. That eye of yours, it's not just injured. It's a piece of the portal. It sees things we don't." Adam didn't move. His fingers dug into the sheets. "Marconin wanted to use you. He believed the eye was a key. To them. To whatever's sending these things." Adam sat up slowly. "You said I could bring them back." She nodded. "Maybe. You came back. That means it's possible." Leslie led him through the hospital, down halls that no longer buzzed with life, past rooms with shattered windows and empty beds, toward the West Wing, where a humming could be felt more than heard. The portal sat inside a containment room, massive, thrumming with pressure. Its surface rippled like tar under moonlight. "Don't open your eye," Leslie warned. "It reacts to itself. You look at it. It sees you too." Adam took a breath, then stepped forward. The hum rose to a scream. Leslie gripped her head, then it burst. Her skull cracked like porcelain and sprayed the walls. She dropped before she could scream. Adam didn't look back. The portal pulled him in. Darkness folded over him like a wave. For a moment, he floated. Then he fell. He landed on a road. It was familiar. The stretch of highway where it all began. But something was wrong. Too still. No sound. No wind. Ahead, he saw a corner store. As he ran toward it, the world flickered, and he found himself in a different room. A jail cell. In the shadows, he saw a body, his body, dead behind bars, eyes torn out. He stumbled backward and turned. A woman appeared. Andrea, number older, taller. Kate, grown. She turned and ran. Adam chased her through a series of shifting rooms, hallways that twisted into staircases, mirrors that led into other mirrors. Finally, he stepped into a chamber of glass and saw himself reflected. Not quite himself. His reflection smiled. "We see the world through your eyes," Mirror Adam said. "You live in ours." Adam's mouth went dry. "Where's my family?" "Waiting, or gone. That depends on your choice." Mirror Adam stepped forward. "You can keep the eye, live between the layers, or give it back. Die, but rest. You won't see them again, but you won't suffer either." Adam's fists clenched. Mirror Adam leaned closer. "Or trade both eyes. Let go of all you see. Maybe then, just maybe, you'll earn them back." Adam closed his eyes. When he opened them, he stood in front of his old house. The door had been replaced by a portal, black and infinite. Inside it, Andrea and Kate, smiling, reaching. A voice behind him whispered, "Choose." Adam ripped out both eyes. He collapsed to the ground, screaming into the dark. Later, in the hospital, Andrea held Kate's hand as they followed Dr. Leslie through the corridor. She explained Adam had survived the surgery, that he was alive but changed. They found him sitting in a chair, eyes bandaged, his hands trembling slightly in his lap. When Andrea spoke his name, he stood, turned toward the sound. "Is that you?" he whispered. Kate ran to him, wrapping her arms around his waist. He knelt and hugged them both. He could not see them, but he knew. Outside the hospital window, the sky shifted. A low hum passed across the horizon, and somewhere on the other side of everything, the portals watched back.